This day I came to the well and said, O Lord God of my master Abraham, if you will now prosper the way in which I go, behold, I stand by the well of water. And it shall come to pass that when the virgin comes out to draw water, and I say to her, Please, give me a little water from your pitcher to drink. And she says to me, Drink, and I will draw for your camels also. Let her be the woman whom the Lord has appointed for my master. But before I had finished speaking in my heart, there was Rebekah coming out with her pitcher on her shoulder. And she went down to the well and drew water. And I said to her, Please, let me drink. And she made haste and let her pitcher down from her shoulder, and said, Drink, and I'll give your camels a drink also. So I drank, and she gave the camels a drink. My name's Arthur. Thank you for joining me as we continue reading Genesis chapter 24. Abraham is seeking a wife for his son Isaac. He doesn't want Isaac to marry one of the Canaanite girls. Although he is on friendly relationships with many of the Canaanites, yet they are worshippers of idols. And if you go to the museum in Jerusalem, you can see many of the artifacts of the Canaanites, the items of their worship. No, he wanted Isaac to marry one who would honour the God of heaven, the Lord Most High, possessor of heaven and earth. And so he has sent his servant to go to his family back in Mesopotamia, to the household of Nahor, and seek from his family a bride for Isaac. And so the servant has done that. He has taken 10 camels and come to the city of Nahor. How was he to identify the woman? How would he know who was the right woman for Isaac? Well, he prayed. He asked the Lord to show him with a very specific sign, saying, Here I am by the well. Let it be that the virgin who comes out to draw water, and I say to her, Give me a drink, and she gives me a drink and waters my camels also, let her be the one who is your choice to be the bride of Isaac. And immediately, having expressed that prayer, Rebekah comes out and fulfills that prayer. The man watching at her remained silent, so as to know whether the Lord had made his journey prosperous or not. We continue the story in verse 22 of Genesis 24. So it was, when the camels had finished drinking, that the man took a golden nose ring weighing 1/2 shekel, and 2 bracelets for her wrists weighing 10 shekels of gold, and said, Whose daughter are you? Tell me, please. Is there room in your father's house for us to lodge? So she said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, Milcah's son, whom she bore to Nahor. Moreover, she said to him, We have both straw and feed enough, and room to lodge. Then the man bowed down his head and worshipped the Lord. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of my master Abraham, who has not forsaken his mercy and his truth toward my master. As for me, being on the way, the Lord led me to the house of my master's brethren. So the young woman ran and told her mother's household these things. Now Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban, and Laban ran out to the man by the well. So it came to pass, when he saw the nose ring and the bracelets on his sister's wrists, and when he heard the words of his sister Rebekah, saying, Thus the man spoke to me, that he went to the man, and there he stood by the camels at the well. And he said, Come in, O blessed of the Lord. Why do you stand outside? For I have prepared the house and a place for the camels. Then the man came to the house, and he unloaded the camels, and provided straw and feed for the camels, and water to wash his feet, and the feet of the men who were with him. Food was set before him to eat. But he said, I will not eat until I have told about my errand. And he said, Speak on. So he said, I am Abraham's servant. The Lord has blessed my master greatly, and he has become great. and he has given him flocks and herds, silver and gold, male and female servants, and camels and donkeys. And Sarah, my master's wife, bore a son to my master when she was old, and to him he has given all that he has. Now my master made me swear, saying, You shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell, but you shall go to my father's house, and to my family, and take a wife for my son. And I said to my master, Perhaps the woman will not follow me. But he said to me, The Lord before whom I walk will send his angel with you, and prosper your way. And you shall take a wife for my son, from my family, and from my father's house. You will be clear from this oath when you arrive among my family, if they will not give her to you. Then you will be released from my oath. And this day I came to the well, and said, O Lord God of my master Abraham, if you will now prosper the way in which I go, behold, I stand by the well of water. And it shall come to pass that when the virgin comes out to draw water, and I say to her, Please, give me a little water from your pitcher to drink, and she says to me, Drink, and I will draw for your camels also, let her be the woman whom the Lord has appointed for my master's son. But before I had finished speaking in my heart, there was Rebekah, coming out with her pitcher on her shoulder, and she went down to the well and drew water. And I said to her, Please, let me drink. And she made haste and let her pitcher down from her shoulder, and said, Drink, and I will give your camels a drink also. So I drank, and she gave the camels a drink also. Then I asked her and said, Whose daughter are you? And she said, The daughter of Bethuel, Nahor's son, whom Milcah bore to him. So I put the nose ring on her nose, and the bracelets on her wrists, and I bowed my head and worshipped the Lord, and blessed the Lord God of my master Abraham, who had led me in the way of truth, to take the daughter of my master's brother for her son. Now, if you will deal kindly and truly with my master, tell me, and if not, tell me, that I may turn to the right hand or to the left. May the Lord bless his word to us. Well, it's a most remarkable story, and I guess a key phrase is, I being in the way, the Lord led me. The servant is seeking to know God's will, and so he prays about the matter, and he sets up a circumstance whereby he can know the mind of God. It's obviously not wrong to do that. There are other instances in the scriptures where people have sought the mind of God in a set of circumstances that will arise. But notice, he had come to the place first. And of course the confirmation that this was indeed God's will is that not only would the situation that the servant articulated, that is, the woman would water his camels also, come true, but that the woman would meet the requirements that she be a virgin of Abraham's extended family, that is, a descendant of Nahor, his brother, and that she would agree to come to Canaan. Having received the water for himself and his camels, he takes the bracelets and the nose ring, because he is confident that the Lord has led him. He believes the Lord has led him, and asks her, Whose daughter are you? Can we lodge at your place? And she identifies herself as being a descendant of Nahor. And yes, you can lodge at our place, we have plenty of room. And so he worships the Lord. The first thing that this man does is to give thanks to the Lord and to bless the Lord, who has cared for Abraham and has led him in the way. But the second requirement is that she be willing to come with him. And so, before they eat the meal that night, the servant recounts the story and poses the question,